Favorite gig ever?
Timbuktu.
Tonight, in this country, in a bar somewhere, there's a Zeppelin tribute band playing and some guy is doing you. Any advice?
Try and dress to the right.
He is the voice behind the Stairway to Heaven, and he called himself a golden god. Before he became rock and roll's golden god, Robert Plant was a rebel with a voice that could shatter glass and a heart that nearly broke under the weight of his own ambition. From selling junk for records to taking over arenas with Led Zeppelin, this is the story of a man who didn't just sing legends, he lived them. Over the next few minutes, we'll delve deep into the life of Robert Plant, the lead singer of Led Zeppelin, who turned his raw passion into a global phenomenon. From his tough beginnings in the Black Country to million-dollar mansions and sold-out stadiums, you'll learn about his successes, heartbreaks, and the secrets behind his iconic voice. But how did an unknown boy become the soul of rock and roll? To find out, we'll have to go back in time. Early life and background. Robert Plant's full name is Robert Anthony Plant. He was born on August 20th, 1948, in the gritty Black Country town of West Bromwich, England. And young Robert was never ordinary. His father, Robert C. Plant, he was a civil engineer who served in the Royal Air Force during World War II. His mother, Annie Celia Plant, who was of Romani descent, filled her home with stories of a vibrant heritage. Growing up in nearby Kidderminster in Worcestershire, Robert was a dreamer cycling with his father across the Welsh borders, immersed in castles and folklore. But music? That was his real escape. At age 10, he would hide behind a curtain at Christmas and sing Elvis Presley songs and dream of a stage bigger than his living room. By his teens, Robert had become addicted to the smooth voices of blues legends, such as Willie Dixon and Robert Johnson. School was a nightmare for him, and he found King Edward VI Grammar School in Stourbridge-a-Cage. At 16, he dropped out of his short training as a chartered accountant, dashing his parents' hopes of a stable career. Instead, he started working odd jobs, laying tarmac, working in Woolworths, etc., to fund his passion for music. His father was not happy, but Robert had heard a voice on the radio, so there was no stopping him. But it wasn't just the place that shaped him, it was the people closest to him who lit the spark for what was to come next. Family and relationships. Robert Plant's enormous personality was shaped by those closest to him. Growing up in Kidderminster, he was extremely close to his parents, Robert and Annie Celia Plant, whose Romani roots gave him a passion for storytelling and music. But it was love that truly defined his heart. In 1968, at just 20, Robert married Maureen Wilson, a bright-hearted nurse. They were the perfect rock and roll couple, raising 3 children together: Carmen, born in 1968, Carrick, born in 1971, and Logan, born in 1979. Their home in Worcestershire was a beautiful haven of love, music, and chaos. But life wasn't always good. Then came the dark times in 1977, when his son Carrick died suddenly at the age of 5, a loss that devastated Robert and left wounds that inspire some of his rawest lyrics. Then came the dark times of 1983, when Robert and his wife divorced, but Robert remained close to his children. Later, he fell in love again with singer Patty Griffin, and lived a quiet life in Austin, Texas. Through it all, family kept him grounded, even as fame tried to pull him away. But while the world watched his rise to fame, who was Robert Plant when the cameras were off? Let's find out. Career breakthrough and iconic moments. In 1968, Robert Plant was a 20-year-old blues hound, playing in small-time bands like Band of Joy. Then came the moment when fate took a turn. Yardbirds turned guitarist Jimmy Page heard Robert's raw, soul-stirring voice in a club in Birmingham, and that moment changed everything. Robert joined Led Zeppelin with Jimmy Page, John Bonham, and John Paul Jones, and rock and roll was never the same again. Their first album, Led Zeppelin I, came out in 1969, a mix of blues, folk, and pure swagger, and was a hit. But it was Led Zeppelin II that became a revolution, with Whole Lotta Love topping the charts around the world. Then came the 1970s, which was Zeppelin's golden age. Led Zeppelin IV, with Stairway to Heaven, became a cultural anthem. Robert's voice was wild, mysterious, indomitable, and defined a generation. He performed for millions, from Madison Square Garden to Nebworth. After Led Zeppelin broke up in 1980, Robert reinvented himself as a solo artist and won a Grammy Award in 2009 for Raising Sand with Alison Krauss. Guided by Jimmy Page and inspired by his own vision, Robert didn't just sing, he shaped rock and roll history. Their rise was unstoppable, but how did it affect their fortune? Let's understand. Net worth and incomes. Robert Plant's voice didn't just shape rock history, it built an empire. As of 2025, Robert Plant's financial empire is estimated to be worth nearly $200 million, built on decades of music, smart investments, and a life lived on his own terms. The main backbone of this golden god of rock's wealth is Led Zeppelin, with over 200 million albums sold worldwide, and the band's catalog, Whole Lotta Love, Black Dog, and Immigrant Song, continues to generate millions in royalties annually. Industry estimates suggest Plant earns $8 to $12 million annually from streaming, licensing, and re-releases of Zeppelin alone. Yes, these classic tracks continue to bring in money decades after the band broke up in 1980. But Plant didn't stop at Zeppelin. His solo career and collaborations have kept the money rolling in. From his debut album, Pictures at 11, released in 1982, to his Grammy-winning album, Raising Sand, with Alison Krauss in 2007, Plant's solo efforts have added millions of dollars to his wealth. His recent tours with Saving Grace and the sensational Space Shifters, and his podcast Digging Deep, keep him relevant and earning him a decent amount of money in ticket sales, merchandise, and licensing deals. A private performance will cost you $500,000 to $1 million. Beyond music, Robert's invested smartly. Think real estate in Worcestershire and a stake in Wolverhampton Wanderers Football Club. From a kid scraping by to a rock icon, his wealth grew with his legend. With this kind of wealth, you'd expect an extravagant lifestyle. Let's find out if you are right or not. Luxury lifestyle and interests. Robert Plant's $200 million fortune could buy a luxurious life, but the rock god lives it on a whim. His style is pure bohemian. Think flowing scarves, vintage leathers and rings that tell stories of his travels. He's a wanderer at heart, often seen traveling to exotic places like Morocco or Mali, where he enjoys the world music that inspires his voice. Plant is also a vinyl freak, amassing a collection of rare blues and world music records. Each one is a piece of his soul that fuels his creative spirit. What's surprising here is that despite all his wealth, he tends to his home gardens and hosts simple gatherings with home-cooked meals. A lifelong fan of Wolverhampton Wanderers, where he serves as vice president, he's often seen mingling with fans at Molineux Stadium. He tours with his band Saving Grace, playing cozy venues for the love of music, not the paycheck. And did you know he once went to the Sahara to record with Tuareg musicians? That's Robert, a rock star with a nomad's heart, living life on his own terms. But where does he spend most of his time when not chasing music or football? Wait, I will tell you. Real estate properties. Led Zeppelin's legendary singer Robert Plant has turned his $200 million fortune into a collection of breathtaking real estate that reflects his love of history, nature, and tranquility. The crown jewel of Plant's portfolio is his Worcestershire estate, a 17th century manor valued at $2.5 to $3 million. Inside, it's a mix of old-world charm and rock star style, with antique furniture, Persian rugs, and a music room filled with vinyl records, located in the heart of England's Midlands. This sprawling property spans acres of lush countryside, with a sprawling garden where Robert cultivates everything from roses to native wildflowers and vegetables in his gardens. It's where Plant relaxes, hosts family gatherings, and finds inspiration for his music. Across the border in the Welsh Marches, Plant owns a historic Grade 2 listed property valued at $1.8 million. This rustic retreat is a love letter to his passion for Welsh culture and history. With its exposed beams, stone fireplaces, and views of the Black Mountains, it's the perfect escape for a man who has long been inspired by Celtic folklore. Plant often comes here to write, reflect, and immerse himself in the tranquility of the Welsh countryside. From the historic grandeur of his Worcestershire manor to the soulful retreats nestled in the Welsh Marches, these properties are more than just homes. They are the backdrop to a life lived with passion and purpose. For the man who sang Ramble On, these are the places he finds peace. And when he comes out on the road, his ride is no less than royalty. Let's find out how. Cars and vehicles collections. Robert Plant's $200 million fortune could buy any number of cars, but his collection screams rock and roll with a rural twist. The shining star of Plant's collections is a 1965 Aston Martin DB5, valued at $500,000 to $700,000. This James Bond-worthy beauty, with its leather interior and timeless design, is more than a car. It's a symbol of Plant's suave, rebellious spirit. Then there's his 1959 Chrysler Imperial, a rare pink convertible, pure Elvis vibes, that he drove with flair in the 70s. For Robert Plant farm life, he picked a 1948 GMC 3100 pickup, a quirky workhorse he called a great old girl, despite its fire-prone engine. He also owns a Land Rover 90, perfect for cruising the Welsh countryside, a 1970 Jaguar XJ, which unfortunately was completely destroyed in an accident, and a 2002 Audi S8, completing his diverse mix. His next car, a Ferrari GTB 275, a 1960s masterpiece, is valued at $1.5 to $2 million. Despite all this, Robert Plant's collection is not limited to the road. His vintage yacht, which is docked at his private dock, is a restored 1960s classic, worth up to $1.2 million. It is often used for family vacations or quiet cruises on England's waterways. For the man who sang "Go into California," every ride is a chance to chase the horizon in true rock star style. That's as great as his voice. So what's he up to now in 2025 and beyond? Let's find out. Current life and projects. At 76, Robert Plant hasn't slowed down and is reinventing himself. In 2025, he's touring Europe with his acoustic band Saving Grace, featuring the soulful vocals of Susie Diane. His Spring Fever tour, taking in places like Valencia and Lucca, features a blend of folk, blues, and psychedelic soul that has fans praising Robert's still powerful voice. He's also announced new tracks, like a cover of Lowe's Everybody's Song, that nod to his debut album that made an impact. Offstage, Robert hosts the BBC radio series Tracing the Thread, which explores folk roots from around the world, from Morocco to Appalachia, and blends it with the sound of Zeppelin. He also lent his voice to Paul Weller's Finding El Dorado, which is due to be released in July 2025. When he's not traveling the world, he's gardening in Worcestershire, or cheering for Wolverhampton Wanderers with his kids Carmen and Logan. Surprisingly, he keeps his love life private and focuses more on music and family. From recovering from the death of his son Karak to conquering the world, Robert Plant has proven that legends are made, not born. So what do you think? Is Robert Plant living his dream and finding peace in music, or hiding from the burden of his own legend? Leave your answer in the comments section below. Living the dream or running from it? The best reply gets a shout out in our next video. Come and let us know your thoughts on the incredible journey of this rock god. If you enjoyed diving into the world of Robert Plant, you'll definitely want to check out our video on Jimmy Page's luxury lifestyle in 2025. From his guitar riffs to his luxurious homes, this is another great rock and roll story. Click on the thumbnail on your screen now and continue this adventure. We'll see you there.